We have recently started a podcast series, the Nalanda Dialogues. It is about it has been started keeping a larger motive in mind, given the huge international significance of India in the coming years, and we have already seen how India is playing a role in almost every major development. So we have interviewed candidates from around 13 countries so far, and just started around 1 month or 45 days back, and we have posted the interviews of around 8 candidates or so. So we will also discuss a few points with you so that we can share it with the outside world at large. So you come from the state of Orissa,
Yes.
which has a very long tradition and rich heritage. And recently, a very unfortunate incident, that
Yes.
railway accident happened, and our prayers to the departed soul. Um, so, please tell us more about the rich cultural and traditional heritage of Orissa in brief, if you can, please.
I have completely been like born and brought up, and my academics has gone through in this state. So one thing we understand and we relate with Odisha is its diversity. Odisha is
Mm-hmm.
not just Odisha; it is a culmination of multiple cultures. We have the highest tribal diversity in the state,
Yes.
highest number of particularly vulnerable tribal groups, and the culture is diminishing. I
Mm-hmm.
love this question because I am I love learning about new cultures. I try whenever I like go into some different district, I try to learn why this particular community is taking this kind of food, why this community is wearing this kind of clothes. There's a
Yes.
whole geographical difference also in terrain. In the western
Mm-hmm.
side we have the hills, plateaus. Eastern side is a more coastal zone. In the
Yeah.
northern side we have this like particular tribal groups, the Santals, who have this world famous handicrafts, handloom industries,
Yeah.
and these kind of arts, and it's dying down now, and the coastal places are more famous for temples, the Hinduism culture. We have Saibat, the Shiva tradition as well. Multiple lingers are in Odisha. Buddhism has its roots in the hilly areas, the Mahendragiri hills, and there is a story also when the Tibetan refugee incident took place. Odisha Gajapati district was the place which provided the help to this particular community. There is
Wow.
history about Jainism in our state,
Mm-hmm.
the Kharavela dynasty, and this in
Mm-hmm.
the district from which I come from. And we
Mm-hmm.
have a very nice. There's no communal tension. We have very healthy population of different religions. Multiple religions, and people like to celebrate their own language. There's a sense of pride in Odia language that it's often stereotyped that people from Odisha don't want to go out, but I feel that they have this kind of we have this kind of pride in our own language, and we want to take it forward. So
Yes.
we are not ready to sacrifice that for something else.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I remember I was on a around week-long trip to Orissa last year. So I started all the way from Sambalpur, went down to Bolangir, and then came back to Sambalpur, then went to Bhubaneswar and Orissa. And the people, they are so friendly. I mean, once
Yes.
you strike a conversation with them, it almost becomes an endless conversation. I
Right.
remember I was traveling on the way, and I became so friendly with an uncle who was sitting next to me that we got down together at one common place, and we had food together, and then we proceeded on our ways. No earlier acquaintance at all. So that's
Hmm.
how that's the kind of warmth and hospitality
Yes.
you get in Orissa.
Yes.
Kasturi, so just a few more minutes I'll take. I know it has been a very hectic days for you.
No
So, any
problem, Sabi.
particular incident or any particular individual that actually inspired you to pursue this dream of civil services?
There has been many which actually culminated into inspire me. I personally feel that taking a decision to appear
Mm-hmm.
for this exam, having that courage, if you have that, I think 50% of the work is done. The
Yeah.
most difficult part in the preparation is keeping yourself into the race and not giving up midway. And inspiration has been many. I actually I'm brought up in a family. My father is an administrator. The thing
Mhm.
about the thing you said about warmth, and people are very giving. Like
Yeah.
honestly, when we work for people, when ever any kind of help they have ever received, they try to celebrate the person. The blessings we receive from them is immense. Like
Mhm.
whenever I go to some particular district just for like talking to them, I love talking to people. They often say that go back and tell your dad that he's god for us. And
Oh, wow.
it's very difficult for me to like forget these kind of incidents. And
Mhm.
when I was a kid, I was immature, and I feel that what does it feel if someone tells me like this someday? So
Mhm.
that was a spark in me that has always motivated me. And after my graduation also, I feel that I'm an adventurous person. I like to work in different fields.
Mhm.
I'm not the person who can just stuck in one kind of sector and find a like growth graph in that sector. So
Yeah.
civil service provides that opportunity. I can
Mhm.
contribute to technology, which is very close to my heart, and I can
Yeah.
contribute to health, I can contribute to education, I can contribute to anything I like. The opportunities are immense, and I
Mhm.
want to like be approachable to people, and I want people to acknowledge that since the day they are born to the end of the day, I must be able to contribute in any kind of help or any kind of sector they wish me to work for.
Mhm. Wow, that's really a very like a liberal outlook, open to different kind of exposures. Um, yes, about your interaction with people, and when they said about your father, like they cannot still forget. So that is
Yes,
the kind of impact civil service can create, and that is why if people are so desirous about getting into these services, because somewhere deep down within they have this inclination towards making a difference in the lives of common
right.
people, improving the lives of the marginalized section so that they can come into the mainstream society. um, Kasturi, being a female, do you think there are still structural bottlenecks in society when it comes to pursuing your dreams or ambitions?
Mm, personally, I did not face a difficulty. I will acknowledge this publicly because I have a like infinitely supportive family who have always like pushed for my dreams. But
Yeah.
I have friends, and I look into other aspects of society, and I cannot not acknowledge the thing that it often becomes difficult for girls. Like in some communities, they believe that even for my age it's already too late for marriage. They get into burden of family planning and prioritizing family over career, and this is a very prospective career. Society gives a very high space to this kind of profession.
Yeah.
So often it goes on to my friends have acknowledged that they have told shared incidents about this. People don't sometimes few communities don't accept women going up, and there's a kind of inferiority complex people develop when the boss or when the leader, the manager is a lady. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's a pressure from family that if you go so up in the ladder, then you won't be fine to find a prospective groom.
Mm-hmm.
uh, these kind of like we need a very good state of mental health to prepare for this exam. If
Mm-hmm.
some girls, some women is going through these kind of thoughts, it obviously drives a lot of your energy into that space, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't fully start like focusing on the exam. So it
Mm-hmm.
must be very difficult for them. And I acknowledge I'm lucky, I'm privileged that I
Yeah.
have the like most supportive parents in the world.
Yeah, very true. So you just mentioned about mental health. So this would be the last question from my end. So in UPSC preparation also, we have seen that mental health issues are almost assuming epidemic proportion. Lots of candidates, they are not socially visible because they slip into their own cocoon once these problems starts afflicting them. But this baggage of expectation from society, many of them leave their lucrative jobs to jump into preparation. and the results are not always the kind of they wanted it to be. So what is your message to them? Because see, for every candidate that is selected finally, there are thousands of candidates who are not selected.
Right.
So what is your message to them? How should they deal with the situation?
I can share my experience. It naturally comes to a very ambitious aspirant when we start early and we don't understand things in life properly. Even in my first attempt, I was this overconfident person. I will clear this. I'll do everything by myself. I'll clear this in the first attempt. I'll get through IAS in the first attempt. And things in life, things happen when they have to happen. They don't
Mm-hmm.
always happen while we plan. These are not 5 year plans we can implement. And for me also, it didn't work out one time. I tried to give up. I didn't want to appear again. I started looking onto different opportunities. But the thing of dealing with failures is, I think we should always prioritize myself. I
Mm-hmm.
must like remember what exactly I want in life. Am I doing this right? Am I like going on the right path? If there is an alternative to this dream for doing the same thing I want to do for society, there must
Yeah.
be a reason that I gave up a job or I came up for this preparation. Always kind to make remember that reason. And life is very short to think about ending the whole journey, and life is short, so I think enjoy everything that comes in mind. You don't have to isolate yourself. Lots of toppers have been vocal about proper use of social media.
Yeah.
Keep your faith and trust on people who believe in you. Share, keep your like talk to friends. It's not 100% necessity to completely sacrifice your social life for this preparation.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a good friend who is always motivating you, encouraging you. I have a close friend in my life who has been a constant support, and you can always vent out your anger, your frustration, and it becomes easy to handle failures. It becomes easy to handle the low days of your life. Share with people, believe in people, trust them, and never think that you're alone. The world
Mm-hmm.
is very big. You can
Yeah.
never be alone, and man is a social animal. So try trusting a few. I'm not saying go out and party every day, but there must be one, two people in your life who you can trust and share. And I know if they really love you, they like you, they will always help you with whatever situation you are in.
True. Yeah, so that is something which will, I'm sure, help a lot of candidates, because with the changing times, there are emerging issues also which the young generation faces. For example, relationship. So it is something
Yes,
that is not even discussed in most of the families, and
right,
this is something which they have to handle on their own, and they suffer deep within, because this is something that does not still have social validation kind of thing. So
right,
because every small thing, even if we go to purchase a book or a vehicle, we discuss it with 5 6 people, 10 people, everyone we know. But this is something that makes a lot of difference to our life, relationship aspects, and we don't have those channels to discuss.
right,
So we as a society, we as mentors, the successful candidates like you, we need to come up with a model wherein the youths can actually develop a way out to discuss those personal issues also. So I hope our discussion will be of some value to at least some aspirants. That's why we tried to have an open kind of discussion with no filters kind of thing.
right.
And Kasturi, all the very best for your journey ahead. I'm sure,
Thank you, sir.
as you mentioned, you will carry ahead the trajectory set by your father, and
Yes,
you have a lot of responsibilities already there. So, and a few years down the line, I will try and have another podcast with you about how to handle job, personal life, family life, everything, because this is another emerging trend that most
right.
of the youths, especially females, they are struggling with. So I'll get in touch with you, and let's keep in touch, because as I said, it is just the beginning of the journey. Any concluding remark that you wish to, please feel free.
My concluding remark is that I'll acknowledge it gets very difficult in this journey to believe in yourself. You give up multiple times, but as I said, believe in someone who has trust in you. And about your social and preparation, all of that, always try to prioritize yourself. Learn how to make decisions, which is also a demand of this exam. So you're not losing on that. Don't depend on anyone to guide you, to tell you that you have to do this, you have to do study this. Make it for yourself. Believe in yourself and take decisions for yourself. Take charge.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so thank you so much, Kasturi, and again, wish you all the best. And anytime, if you feel like discussing anything to seek some input, please feel free to get in touch with me. It's not like our association was limited just to clearing this exam, so we would be always there. All the very best, and thank
My
you for
pleasure,
your
sir. Thank
precious
you, sir.
time.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.